Are you wondering how to use diaphragm in singing correctly and how to know that you are actually doing it right? If you are struggling to breathe easily when singing, if you run out of breath, if you experience straining, or if your voice sounds weak and thin, by the end of this video you will have a better idea how to sing properly from your diaphragm, and even better, you will have 3 concrete ways to know if your diaphragm is working well. Also, I'm going to share a couple of easy diaphragm breathing exercises for singing, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Katarina from How to Improve Singing. For the best singing tips on how to use your voice in a healthy and efficient way so that you can sing any notes you want, subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so that you get notified when I post a new video every week. You've heard it many times. Breathe from your diaphragm, sing from your diaphragm, use your diaphragm properly. But how to sing using diaphragm properly? You cannot feel the diaphragm directly, so how do you know if you are doing it right? Well, let's first talk about how to breathe from your diaphragm for singing, and then I will share 3 tips to help you determine if you are doing it right or not. The diaphragm is the biggest breathing muscle that sits at the bottom of your chest cavity. It's attached to your breastbone, lower ribs, and some vertebrae. It sits actually quite high, higher than you would think. It's definitely not in your belly, but you can feel the bottom edge of your breastbone and your lower ribs to get an idea where approximately the diaphragm is, but you really cannot feel the diaphragm. The diaphragm is a structure that you cannot touch or feel when it's working. The only thing you can feel and see is the result of the moving diaphragm. Let me show you a video to get a better idea what the diaphragm is doing when you breathe and sing. As you can see, the diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscle. We could compare it to the shape of a parachute or an umbrella. During breathing, the diaphragm moves up and down, not in and out. When we inhale, the diaphragm contracts and moves down. The parachute or the umbrella flattens. It descends a few centimeters every time you take a breath. It doesn't matter if you sleep, talk, or sing. However, if you want to use the diaphragm efficiently when singing, you want to create conditions in your body that allow the diaphragm to move more than a few centimeters. And I'll show you how in a moment. During exhalation, the diaphragm rises and returns to its dome-shaped position. This phase is passive. The diaphragm simply wants to relax, so it moves up. Therefore, phrases like singing from the diaphragm or support the sound with the diaphragm do not really make sense because we cannot control a relaxed muscle. However, we can control other muscle groups in the body that slow down the return of the diaphragm to its relaxed position. If we let the diaphragm relax without any control, the air would just exit from the lungs immediately and we wouldn't be able to sustain a sound. So, how to use diaphragm in singing and how to know if your diaphragm is moving efficiently if you cannot feel it? The trick is to observe your body and understand the signs. Here are 3 tips to know if you are singing using diaphragm efficiently. Tip number 1, your torso is well aligned. The diaphragm can work most efficiently when your torso is well aligned. What is a well-aligned torso for singing? Your chest maintains a medium-high position before and during singing. The chest is open and flexible and doesn't collapse. Your shoulders are wide and back, but they are not stiff or rigid. Your hips are well aligned with the rest of your torso. Your diaphragm will not be able to descend fully if your chest is collapsed or if your shoulders are curled forward, there is simply not enough space for the diaphragm to move in a closed torso. So if you see a collapsed torso, you know that your diaphragm is not working properly. Tip number 2, your torso expands in all directions during inhalation. Breathing is a three-dimensional shape change. This is a quote by Jessica Wolf, a master teacher of the Alexander technique. What does it mean? It means that during inhalation, the torso is expanding, moving in all directions. So the sides of your body move sideways, the abdomen is moving forward, the back is also expanding slightly. There are some observable movements in the chest, but most of the breathing movements should be observed and felt in the lower half of your torso. If your body expands in all directions, then you know that the diaphragm has good conditions to work properly. If your breathing is limited in one of these dimensions, let's say that your abdominal movement is good but very little sideway expansion is present, you are limiting the function of the diaphragm. Tip number 3, your torso maintains expansion. As I said before, if you let the diaphragm move to its relaxed position without much control, it will move up very quickly and you won't be able to sing. So some torso muscle groups like the abdominals, the intercostal muscles have to engage to keep the torso expanded for as long as needed during exhalation and singing. How do you know if your exhalation muscles are engaged? Well, use your hands to feel the movement and engagement of the muscles and observe your body in the mirror. If you are losing the expansion that you've achieved during inhalation quickly, then your breath control is limited and you are allowing the diaphragm to ascend without much control. Your hands will tell you how engaged the muscles are or if the torso is collapsing too soon. So, let's put these tips into practice on a simple breathing exercise to see if your diaphragm is working efficiently. So let's do 2 variations of a hissing exercise, short bursts and long sustained hissing. In the comments below, let me know if you've done a hissing exercise before. Probably you have. Comment with hissing if you have. But the question is, have you done this exercise with proper diaphragmatic movement? Let's see. So first, establish good body posture before you start and maintain your optimal torso alignment during this whole exercise. Watch yourself in the mirror to check if your body is well aligned. Then, put one of your hands on the abdomen and the other one on the side of your body to feel the movements. Also, observe yourself in the mirror to see what your torso is doing during inhalation. Expand your body in all directions. Don't forget to check the movement of your back and your chest during this exercise. Now, make short hissing bursts. Keep your hands where they are and feel the engagement of the muscles and notice that your body is not collapsing after every burst, like this. Belly doesn't move inward right away, and the sides of your body and your chest are not collapsing either. Instead, your body is maintaining the expansion, and you can feel it with your hands placed on your torso. Now, make a long hissing sound and observe how your body is maintaining expansion. Only at the very end of hissing, your torso will return to its starting position. Isn't this easy to tell that your diaphragm is working properly? If you want to learn more effective breathing exercises done properly like this one, check out this link or the link in the description below to improve your breath support and singing. In this video, I shared 3 tips on how to use diaphragm for singing, and we tested them in a simple breathing exercise to check the function of the diaphragm for singing. I hope you liked this video. If you did, show it to me by clicking the like button below, and don't forget to keep in touch by hitting that subscribe button and the bell icon, because in the next video I am going to tell you if a singer needs to strengthen the diaphragm to sing better. Until next time, happy breathing and singing. Hi, I'm Katarina from How to Improve Breathing. Not breathing, singing. I got it. Let's do it again.